Let's make some vegetable ramen. The first thing we want to do is get our ingredients all together so they're prepped and ready to go when we're adding them to our ramen. First thing we have here is oil, ginger, garlic, some instant ramen noodles, 1 large carrot, 1 medium red bell pepper, some mushrooms, 1 large head of bok choy, some green onions, low sodium soy sauce, sriracha, and some chicken broth. If you like, and I've cut this recipe in half because I'm only cooking for myself today. So let's get started with our ginger. Now I did misread the recipe. In the recipe you have, it says minced ginger, and I'm grating my ginger here, which is okay. Sometimes mistakes happen. The goal is to get the ginger as small as possible so we have the most flavor. So here I am grating my ginger. It was about 2 inches, so I assume 2 inches all around would probably get you around 2 teaspoons. And as I said, we're prepping all of our ingredients ahead of time so they're ready to be added to our soup when it starts to boil. So here I am adding it to my small ingredient bowl. I'm going to mince 4 cloves of garlic now. Now I like to smash my garlic before I mince it just to get the mince going, I guess. And the way you go about doing that is placing the butt of your knife, which is the closest part of the knife to the handle, and slamming down with the heel of your palm as fast and hard as you can. And after such, you just cut back and forth until you find that your minced garlic is the size you like it. This is all going into a soup, so it's not too important how small your garlic is, just to the size you prefer. It'll be softer when it gets boiled with the rest of the ingredients. So one carrot cut into matchsticks. So if you've never cut a carrot into matchsticks before, not to worry, I will be your guide. I'm going to start by trying to create a flat surface on my carrot so I could cut it in half. And we're going to cut it in half one more time. And then I'm going to cut the carrot long ways into thin slices, as thin as I can. It's important to keep your hand in a claw form while cutting carrots and all vegetables, because your hand at any moment could slip and you could cut yourself. So we're going to keep slicing our carrots the same length until we get these thin sticks. Catch my rogue carrot. 1 carrot thinly sliced. So you could also thinly slice your carrot using a knife, cut it into small circles, and that would be fine. But here I'm using my box grater just for faster slicing. And I'm using the largest notch to cut my carrot into thin slices. And we have thinly sliced carrots. The next thing we want to do is slice our mushrooms. So just like the first step in cutting our carrots into matchsticks, I'm going to slice my mushroom as thin as I could get it by holding my hand kind of in a claw form as you've seen and slicing. I'm also going to cut mine in half just because I'd like them to be more of like a bite size, and these were a bit too large for my liking. So there you have it, our sliced mushrooms. And into the ingredient bowl they go. 1 medium or 2 small heads of bok choy. So I'm going to start by laying my bok choy on top of one another. This is also the same way you would cut leafy herbs. You would basically roll them up and slice it pretty thin. I don't know why I cut the stalks. You could definitely use them in your soup. I've just decided to put them aside for a stock but they would definitely work in soup. So don't worry if you don't chop the ends, it's perfectly fine. And here I am chopping my bok choy. And into the ingredient bowl they go. 1 medium red bell pepper, julienne. So I'm going to start by chopping off the head of my pepper and then the bottom into my stock pot and slicing it in half. Now, do not cut in the direction towards yourself. You could slip and cut your hand. I could have slipped and cut my hand. This is altogether not the safest way to cut a pepper. What I was trying to do is roll it out like I am here, so shaving the white part off away from myself is the safest route to go. And then you could cut in half and thinly slice, or julienne. You could also cut your onion by removing the seed bundle from the inside of your pepper right after you cut the head off. That would also work perfectly fine. And here we have our julienne peppers, as well as a little snack for the chef. And all together, those are our ingredients. So we've prepared our garlic, we've minced our ginger, or grated our ginger. We've cut up our carrots, both mashed and sliced mushrooms, our julienne red pepper, and our chopped bok choy. Now, all the ingredients are prepped, and they just need to be added in when we make our ramen. Let's get started. So I'm going to start off by adding 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I've used sesame oil here just to play off the flavor of the soy sauce and sriracha, but you could use any oil you like. I'm going to move the pan around so it's pre-coated and there's less of a chance of sticking and hence burning. And we're going to add our minced garlic and our grated ginger. We're going to move this around the pan a little bit just so everything is coated in the sesame oil, and saute for about a minute or until your ingredients become fragrant. Then we're going to add our carrots, matchstick and sliced, our sliced mushrooms, and our julienne red peppers. And again, we're going to move this around the pan until everything is pretty thoroughly coated and sauteed. This takes about 2 minutes. If you find your ingredients start to stick, don't worry. More water will leave your peppers, carrots, and mushrooms. And they'll look a little bit more like this. Right, they're limper. If you were to stick a knife in it, it'd cut right through. After that, we're going to add our chicken broth, or the broth of your choice. I will say you should be very conscious of your pot size. I had just the right amount of space for this, and I was very like, phew. So when considering, make sure you have the right size pot. We're going to add soy sauce, and then our sriracha. The sriracha isn't necessary. It does add like a very delightful spiciness. So, and our green onions. Right, and then we're going to let this come to a boil all together. Let those flavors kind of meld with the soy sauce, the sriracha, the chicken broth, and our minced garlic. Soup's got a good boil to it, and I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit and add our par-cooked noodles. So not to worry if your noodles stick together. They're very starchy, and when they're in the water they'll come apart as they've done here. So if they stick a little bit upon first entry, do not worry, they loosen up and come apart. And because it cooks up so quickly, it happens very quickly. Then we're going to add our chopped bok choy. Oh, look at that vibrant green, beautiful. And at this point, your soup is pretty done. You're going to want to mix it up, kind of incorporate all the ingredients so it's pretty homogeneous. But after this, all you have to do is wait for this new soup with the ramen added as well as the bok choy to come to a boil, and you're set. Plate it up and ready to go. This makes an excellent weeknight meal because you could prep all of the chopped vegetables in advance and just saute and cook on the night of. Very delicious, very nutritious. And there you have it, some delicious vegetable ramen. You could add a bit of tofu, a bit more protein, but I for one will enjoy this very hot soup in this very hot weather.